Hello, this is Rolf from Tesla Owners US again, and today we are accompanied by our brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and they are living in Hamburg, and this is a visit of the free Hanseatic city of Hamburg, the same as Bremen. Both cities are city-states in Germany, and we are showing now the attractions of Hamburg.
I press to say
Parking is free for electric cars in that parking garage, and the beach bars are on top of that parking garage to bring a little bit of flavor of the Caribbean probably into the gray city of Hamburg. So my Jolle is explaining the city and the city of Hamburg next to the river of the Elbe, where the river goes into the Northern Sea. And let's enjoy the day. So we are visiting the landing bridges, which are flexible because there are pontons on the left side, and depending on the water, they are lifting or up or going down. And there are the little ships which people ask you to step in and do a tour around the harbor of Hamburg. In the background you see the facilities where ships are being manufactured or overhauled. Those little ships are being called Barkasse, and you can celebrate a party there or can hire them for special events, or you just wait until they are leaving. They're always waiting for passengers to do a tour around the harbor. In the background you see the most expensive building ever from Hamburg is the Elbphilharmonie, and the price of that was 866 million euro, which is about $950 million, close to $1 billion on cost. The next attraction we visited is the old Elbe Tunnel. It was built at 1912, actually also for smaller vehicles. And the length of that tunnel was 436 meters. It has carried the people from one side of the Elbe River to the other side of the Elbe River. So especially for the area for the harbor workers need to be carried over from the main portion of the city to the city where all the work was given. And you see there the prices as well. At that time, when you drove through with a truck or with a car, it was €2. But nowadays, you cannot drive through that tunnel anymore. It was restored after over 100 years to more an attraction for tourists. So currently you can walk through that tunnel, or you can drive with a bicycle through the tunnel or any other electric vehicles, but we asked that person, can we drive with our Teslas through that tunnel, and you could not. Okay, so but at least what we did, we stepped into that tunnel and let the elevator operate us to the next level or to the lower level. As you can see here, the drive through the tunnel was very small, actually, or not wide. Today it's actually not wide enough for most of the vehicles becoming wider every time. But at the time of 1912, the tunnel was wide enough for the most of the carriages or horses, because cars were not of the amount it is of today. So the whole elevator, having a capacity of 10,000 kilos, which is about 22,600 pounds, is going to the lower level low enough to go under the river of the Elbe. And it's kind of automated, is being operated by the operator. What you saw there, the other side is opening. Other people who want to come up will step in, and we are stepping out. There are two tunnels actually here, and as you can see from the pictures, the car were very small. The second part of the tunnel is being restored, and the first part of the tunnel, also on the right side, will be restored. As you can see here, it's a very pretty tunnel, and it was an astonishing building at the time it was built. People using that tunnel today as for leisure or for their free time, when they don't have to work, go to the other part of the city under the river of Elbe. So at that time, as you can see, there were a lot of bicycles there to try to get through the city, and people did not have the modern transportation as you have today. That was 1912. Picture was made at that time. Then you can easily step or drive with a bicycle through that tunnel, and the tunnel has very nice tiles and old tiles. What we show you soon, they are being restored to the original size and original picture of what the tile was. Here you can see those tiles, very special and rare tiles, and we're going to show you quite more tiles. So they've been restored to what that tiles was originally in the tunnel. And yeah, it's a nice tour to go through the tunnel. Very pretty tiles there, and it's happening that we underestimate the lens. The lens is actually thought the lens is 2 kilometers, but it's just only half kilometer. Now here we are guessing the length of the tunnel, and it was actually only 426 meters long, which is about 450 yards. And that was at 1912, when the tunnel was opened, a real attraction and an achievement to build a tunnel under a river, or the river Elbe. Today it's being used more for pleasure, and we are staying on the other side of the Elbe River, where there is more to see. Sure that you can also walk the tunnel with the stairs, and you can walk it up or down, and I think most of the people did that when they did not have a vehicle with them. So, and here my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law are walking up the stairs and coming back from the lower portion of the tunnel. And here are the landing bridges at the pier, where they showed their incoming ships, their reception, and showed the depth of the water and the time as well. And nowadays you have the Hard Rock Coffee in there, and restaurants, and a couple of stores where you can buy everything from the city of Hamburg, what you want to remember. Law and politicians do not help you anymore. Also, this part of the city in Hamburg has restrictions because the emission values are way too high, and up to diesel 5 cars cannot drive through here anymore. A non-profit club had to enforce that with the court systems. So a special name for those people who are animating people to step into those barcasses, boats, or into restaurants are cobra. And they are having a big mouth and try to attract people to step into the boat or into the restaurant. We walked a little bit those ponton bridges. They are actually floating bridges and adjusting to the water levels. And there are nice restaurants there where you can sit and enjoy the day and looking at people. Or in the background there's actually a party boat. Sure, also here you can rent the whole boat with the company and have a nice party, or if you have a big birthday party with a lot of people, you rent a boat and have a party and drive on the Elbe River. So there's this little tower in the front is where you can see the level of the water. It shows that the level of the water there, and in the background there's the Hotel Stadt Hamburg. In the top there's a cocktail bar, and that cocktail bar is usually being used to warm up for a night out in Hamburg. It's always, you can see the city lights of the harbor and you can start your day there. In the back you see the shipyards of Hamburg, where sometimes famous ships were being created or overhauled. Also, sometimes some sheiks from Arabia have their fleet being, or their ships being overhauled or repaired or built there. But at that time, everything is completely covered. You will not see anything. That's all being kept secret, and the ships being built inside there, but nobody can take some pictures. It's gonna be a big surprise. So yeah, that Elbtunnel was used to bring the workers from the deckhands from one side of the river to the other side of the river. Sure that also some little boats are driving there, and the harbor is still quite busy. Yeah, we walked alongside the Elbe River and had a nice sightseeing there, and from time to time, sure, we stopped at any of the restaurants there on the pontons and enjoyed the view to the river and enjoyed also the nice location by the with the warm weather. And for sure, we enjoyed the local beer, what my sister-in-law is bringing us now. And we had a really great day because the weather was nice. This sail ship is the last ship carried freight, and it's been restored by a non-profit club to its original condition. At the opposite side of the river you see the Lion King musical, where you have to go by boat and enjoy that musical. Portuguese people settled there and brought the good food, and Scandinavian people brought the churches where they stayed. And as you can see here, the city is very busy and a lot of people are walking in Europe and not driving. Sure, then we had to visit one of the beach bars and get some Caribbean flavor. And they do that on the pontons or next to the Elbe River, so where they try to bring some color into the more gray city. And my brother-in-law was explaining that this becomes a little bit more modern or in, so that people can enjoy the day, especially at that perfect day, to feel like they would be in vacation. And we did as well. And we enjoyed the day with some nice drinks.
So when you're looking around, most important what you see, David Hasselhoff tour. The Freedom Tour continues 2019. October 20th in Hamburg.
Next we drove into the Speicherstadt, which means storage city, which was surrounded by water, and there were hoists alongside the buildings where from the ship you could carry it up to the storage through the window or through a wide balcony door. And this city was not accessible for the regular person because it was a bounded area and custom was not cleared here in these portions of the city. Today it's more a tourist attraction. Now water goes all around through the storage city there, and this time it was low water and it was cleaned because once a year they are going through the canals there and cleaning all the waste and garbage out. So it looked good this time when we were there. You see here in the background also the bridges. Everything was connected through bridges in that storage city because it was a bounded area. We had perfect weather on that day, but we had low water, as you can see. And here's another bridge, and in the background there is the Nikolai Church. That belonged to the city of Hamburg and not to the storage city. The interesting thing is that it's called Hamburg Port Authority in English language in Germany. It should be called actually differently. And here's a swing over to the city from the storage city to the Hamburg city. You see also the nice construction of the buildings there. And for sure there are also merchants of Persian or different kinds of carpets in that city. Might they have not been going through custom yet, or maybe yes, but you can see a lot in that city what was being traded there. I recommend also the Modelleisenbahn Wonderland. So that is actually miniature cities built in a huge area in the part of the city. And here is the coffee producing or roasting restaurant where you can enjoy good coffee. Now we're having a closer look to the most expensive building, and actually it's only a half building because the original building of that storage was being kept, and then there was a building built on top of it. And you see the original cost were about 270 million, and now it ended up to $866 million only for half of the house there. That is actually the Elb Philharmonie. There is a philharmonic orchestra in there, or different kinds of musicals are playing there. And there are actually restaurants or hotels there. And the architecture also from the glass, there are special types of glass being constructed there. The lower portion of the building has a little funny thing because they wanted to reset the windows, but they couldn't because it's a historical building. So you cannot, when you sit in the lower part of the building in a restaurant, you cannot look out of the window. Otherwise, we're gonna show you the entry of the building as well. With a little fee, you can access to an escalator, the top of the first building, and enter the Elb Philharmonie and watch the entire city from the section of that building all around Hamburg, the Elbe River, and the storage city. This is another way of public transportation. You can use the boat, Barkas called, and go with the transportation system alongside the river of Elbe instead of using bus or subway. If you like that, please thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and we'll bring you more from Germany next time. Thank you.
I pressed to say